Good morning YouTubians, it's Kermit's Ghost and I am in Edinburgh at the moment and I'm going to take a look around Edinburgh Castle, so join me as I have a look around and hopefully give you a bit of information on the way. So this is looking at over the first line of defence of the castle, slightly approaching wall if you like. So first you'd have to get up that 100-foot plus embankment, then over the 6-foot wall, and then you're up to the Portcullis. And then this presumably would have been the moated area. With the retractable drawbridge. So we're entering the castle now, over the drawbridge, past the moat. Now you can buy tickets in advance, and I recommend you do that. You get time allotted so you can enter. It doesn't mean you have to spend a certain time in there. Once you're in there, you can spend all day if you want. But you can choose a time that's suited to you. You can buy tickets on the door, or on the gate, but if you book in advance, I believe they're discounted. I also recommend that you get the audio guide because they are very, very informative. And also with the wind, the headphones keep your ears nice and warm. So I'm in the inner walls now. The English tried to storm this castle for years. All they had to do was wait a few hundred years and buy a £20 ticket. They could have got in. So we're quite a way into the castle and we come across another portcullis built in 1574. This castle had great defences.
نه آخه میخوام اینا رو چیز کنم رد کنم یعنی بعد کارش کنید You need a card. یا یکم از من بگید.
Okay, so I've got an audio guide, so I'll give you a bit of information. After you come for the portcullis, this cobbled walkway, if you like, was for loading guns in, and it was built in the 1600s. There's some of the cannons now. The Lang Stairs. This is a steep curved stairway of 70 steps. It gives access to the upper ward of the castle. Curved wall, a short way up on the right, may have been part of the tower from the medieval castle. The National War Memorial for Scotland was established by Royal Charter to commemorate the sacrifice of Scots in the Great War, Second World War, and subsequent conflicts. Hidden within the grounds of Edinburgh Castle is a dedicated dog cemetery. This may be the landmark's strangest yet most comforting feature. This cannon is called Mons Meg. It is 4 meters in length and the shells weigh 175 kilos. It was given to James II in 1454. Mons Meg is a medieval bombardment in the collection of the Royal Armouries, but it's on loan to Historic Scotland and located at the castle. It has a barrel diameter of 20 inches, making it one of the largest cannons in the world by calibre. This is St. Margaret's Chapel. It was built in 1120 by King David I. It is the oldest building in Edinburgh. On the 14th of March in 1314, the castle was captured by Robert the Bruce. He destroyed all the buildings in the castle except for this one chapel. And you can still actually get married in this chapel today and have christenings. At the start of the 15th century, there was another English invasion, but this time it was under Henry IV. They reached Edinburgh Castle, but they had to withdraw due to lack of supplies. From 1437, Sir William Critchin, the keeper of Edinburgh Castle, soon became the Chancellor of Scotland. And in an attempt to gain Regency of Scotland, Critchin sought to break the power of the Douglases, the principal noble family of the kingdom. The 16-year-old William Douglas, 6th Earl of Douglas, and his younger brother David were summoned to Edinburgh Castle in November 1440. After the so-called Black Dinner had taken place in David's Tower, both boys were executed on trumped-up charges in the presence of the 10-year-old King James II. So displayed in the honours of Scotland are the Scottish crown jewels. Also displayed with the crown jewels in Edinburgh Castle is the Stone of Destiny. It was returned to Scotland after 700 years in England. It was taken by Edward I in 1296. The stone is a symbol of Scotland's nationhood. It was the coronation stone for Scottish kings such as Macbeth. Here certain characters from history are depicted. You've got John Mossman, a goldsmith, who was commissioned to fashion the crown in 1539. And here we see Andrew Lees, and he is adding a section to the sceptre in 1536. And another craftsman of the day adding the red velvet to the crown itself.
December to January करना जुलाई का because they asked. ठीक है जुलाई को average of the year.
We're way up above, but we're in the clouds. This is not way.
What do we lose out if we say July?
The Great Hall measures 29 by 12.5 metres, that's 95 feet by 41 feet, and was the chief place of state assembly in the castle, although there is no evidence to support that the Parliament of Scotland ever met here. Historians have disagreed over the dating, although it is usually ascribed to the reign of King James IV, as thought to have been completed in the early years of the 16th century. The decoratively carved stone corbels supporting the roof have a Renaissance detailing, which have been compared to the works at Blois, France, of around 1515, indicating that the arts of Scotland were relatively advanced at this time. It is only one of two medieval halls in Scotland with an original hammer beam roof. Following Oliver Cromwell's seizure of the castle in 1650, the Great Hall was converted into barracks for his troops, and in 1737 it was subdivided into 3 stories to house 312 soldiers. Following the construction of the new barracks in the 1790s, it became a military hospital until 1897. The Great Hall is still occasionally used for ceremonial occasions and has been used as a venue on Hogmanay for BBC Scotland's Hogmanay's Live programme.
अच्छा ते नवीन तोप आहे
Before we head down into the prison, I thought I'd show this door. It was graffitied by one of the inmates many years ago.
Spaniards there, the Dutch in there, and the Irish and Americans in that box. 20 more Yankees are expected today. Cameron, when will the arrival be?
Shortly, sir. I'm receiving with high spirits. You can hear the song all the way from here. Even the townsfolk.
How many other turkeys do you have in
Pirates and prisoners of war were once held in the vaults below Crown Square. In the 17 and 1800s, hundreds of prisoners of war were held in these dark, cramped spaces. Today they've been recreated to give you a look of what it would have been like in the 1800s and offers a glimpse into the grim way of life these prisoners would have had to endure. The first prisoners were French privateers caught in 1758, soon after the 7 Years' War began. The youngest held was a 5-year-old drummer boy captured at the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. Prisoners of war came from France, America, Spain, the Netherlands, Ireland, Italy, Denmark and Poland. Most were sailors, many of them Americans fighting in the War of Independence. There was even an early depiction of the Stars and Stripes flag that is scratched into a door. Many tried to escape, and in 1811 49 prisoners escaped through a hole in the defences that is still visible today. All but one made it safely down Castle Rock, but it wasn't long before they were recaptured. Caribbean pirates were held in the vaults before they became a prisoner of war. 1720, 21 members of Black Bart's crew were captured off Argyll on Scotland's southwest coast. They'd come to Scotland to retire. Instead, most were hung below the high water mark of Leith.
Je me suis plaint de la façon la plus ferme. L'ordre de notre échange a été reçu il y a 6 semaines et Middleton n'a toujours rien fait. Nous nous plaignons, il fait 1200 prendre notre français.
Go on, lads, this way. Thanks, Mr. Carrick.
have the list then. Leonard Burnett. Benjamin Cross. Here. Leah Smith. Jacob Gould. Joseph Pinda. Benjamin Hammond. Elias Brigsby. Here. William Colley. Here. Jacob Allen. Jacob Allen. Hezekiah Wilkins. Ruben Wilkins.
Just watch those stairs, honey. Oh, you watch those stairs. Oh.
So thank you so much for joining me on the tour of Edinburgh Castle. I really appreciate it. It was a very cold, very windy day, so hopefully the microphone doesn't play up too much, and the battery ran out, so I couldn't get the last few areas on video. So once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take it easy. Bye.